The battle horse. Welcome back to the Alef Tav Calendar Research project. We are exploring whether the creatures listed at the end of the book of Job might also describe nebula shapes. In this video, we will investigate the ancient narrative of the horse. Have you given the horse strength? Have you clothed its neck with thunder? Can you make him leap like a locust? His majestic snorting strikes terror. He paws in the valley and rejoices in his strength. He goes out into the clash of arms. He mocks at fear and is not frightened, nor does he turn back from the sword. The quiver rattles against him, the glittering spear and javelin. He devours the distance with fierceness and rage, nor does he come to a halt because the shofar has sounded. At the blast of the shofar, he says, "Ah!" He smells the battle from afar, the thunder of captains and shouting. This narrative begins with 3 questions and then proceeds to a series of statements about the horse. While there is some parallelism, it is not as pronounced as in the descriptions of the previous creatures. The author emphasizes the useful characteristics of horses in battle, a role they have played for thousands of years. The Standard of Ur, housed in the British Museum, depicts multiple battle horses. This Sumerian artifact is dated to around 2600 BC. The multiple apparent horse shapes in the nebulae present a problem. How does one distinguish between them? Consider factors such as color. Is it red, white, or black? The riders and details about those riders. Also, consider details of things in the vicinity. As we saw in the last video, an ostrich is scorning the horse and its rider. When she lifts herself on high, she scorns the horse and its rider. I do not claim to be an authority on this type of research, yet I will attempt to match the details in this narrative to apparent shapes. Just as a Rubik's Cube is difficult, I assure you there will be mistakes during this research project. If the wild donkey is in this region, and the ostrich and horse are here, then it would make sense that this portion describes a horse of war. The shapes we will observe in this region do seem to overlap, as I will demonstrate. Have you given the horse strength? Have you clothed his neck with thunder? The most notable feature of a horse's neck is its mane. In Hebrew, the word mane belongs to a family of words related to trembling, like waves of the sea or thunder. If we examine the neck region of this apparent horse shape, we will find a darker region that could represent its mane. Can you make him leap like a locust? His majestic snorting strikes terror. The nebulous shape of this horse appears to be leaping over a brighter region. These forelegs also resemble a leaping locust. This same dark nebula shape that resembles legs could also be interpreted as a large sword. The face of the horse could also be interpreted as snorting. He paws in the valley and rejoices in his strength. He goes out into the clash of arms. I find it challenging that the horse is both leaping and at the same time pawing in the valley. The front leg does appear to have a shape that resembles a hoof. The clash of arms, or weapons, could refer to the sword-like shape in the rider's hand. This also could be the bow in the hand of the rider that is before him. He mocks at fear and is not frightened, nor does he turn back from the sword. We already pointed out a sword in the rider's hand. The quiver rattles against him, the glittering spear and javelin. An apparent shape of a quiver can be seen here. The javelin or spear may be under the horse's chin here. He devours the distance with fierceness and rage, nor does he come to a halt because the shofar has sounded. At the blast of the shofar, he says, "Ah!" A shofar is a hollowed-out horn of a ram or goat that is blown to call people together or as a signal in war. We already found the shape of a wild goat just below this apparent horse shape, so the shofar could relate to its horns. There is another dark nebula resembling the horns of an ox that also resemble a shofar. In some Jewish traditions, recorded much later in history, the horn of a wild ox are not used as a shofar horn. He smells the battle from afar, the thunder of captains and shouting. This battle may refer to the region behind this horse, which has an apparent shape of slain bodies on the ground. We will examine the region of the slain in the next video. Other than the rider on this horse's back, I was unable to locate apparent shapes that represents captains shouting. Please understand that this is preliminary research on a topic that presents obvious difficulties. there always is the possibility that the author was not describing this particular region of space. As a software programmer and someone who loves absolutes, facts, and logical order, this type of research on apparent shapes can be frustrating. However, after discovering the Noah calendar system, I've developed an unquenchable curiosity to continue researching these matters. In the next video, we will investigate the birds of prey as described in the Job narrative.